Oh my God! Okay, it's happening. Everybody stay calm.
What's the
Everybody
procedure,
stay calm.
everyone? What's the procedure?
Stay calm.
Wait.
Everybody just calm down.
Help!
Here,
Oh,
take my hand.
ah!
Come on. You're gonna fall unless you take my hand.
No, give me your other hand.
Oh, my other hand isn't strong enough. You take my little hand.
No, get it away from me!
Take it. Take my hand.
Comic Skate Journal, March 13, 2020. Direct market bleeding out in an alley. Death by 1,000 cuts. This industry's afraid of me. I've seen its true face. The shelves are extended gutters, and the gutters are filled with diversity. And when the stacks finally get too thick, all the vermin will drown. The accumulated karma of all their derangement and entitlement will foam up around their waists. And all the so-called professionals who called us bigots then blocked us will look up and shout, "Save us!" And we'll whisper, "No."
The Bogan force is too strong upon us. Our spirit is broken.
The Bogan is strong with you, but not nearly strong enough.
I am Lord Darth Vader, First Knight of the Sith, and right hand to His Eminence Prince Esper Valorum, the master of the Bogan.
Let's see how you go with a can of beer up your exhaust pipe, mate.
Did you like his actions there? He was pretending he was flying.
Really?
Great.
Is that what was happening? That was great.
I
Mike.
found them on YouTube by searching Star Wars Bogan, and that's what I found.
Was there?
I found in both of them that whoever did the voiceovers, they did a good job.
The first one, the Lord of the Bogan, is a proper good web comic, motion comic of the original comic. It's pretty good. I mean, I didn't watch much of it, but what I saw of it looked pretty good. Hey, phone's going.
What about the Watchmen Comicsgate?
I did that. That was me. That was my.
That one was terrible. The other ones were
you said it was good. You said it was good.
That was crap.
Gotcha.
That was total.
Ah!
I was like, this is the worst thing I've ever heard in my life.
That was me as Rorschach. I just drink a lot of tea, get some good juices in your throat, and then get onto Audacity and pump it all up.
That's
Rob. You can.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, Rob. You can do a good deep voice. Do your Nolan Batman.
I'm Batman. Nolan Batman.
I'm Batman. I am the darkness. I am vengeance.
Is that from your?
Oh my god!
Can you still do your accent from the Pokemon days?
Oh yeah, how did that go? You gotta give me. I have done ones in Pokemon. These are my.
I've done ones in Pokemon. Oh my god, it's you!
Look at my Pokeballs. Do you like my Pokeballs?
Missed out on some shit the other night, I tell you what. Let me say hello to everyone in the chat. We've got Gary G in the house finishing the Ziggurat. I actually finished that last night on the couch while watching Succession. Has anyone seen that?
Oh, it's great. I've seen all of them.
It seems really full on.
That's a really nice ARO.
Yeah, that's we saw that, haven't we already? Gary G's ARO.
I don't know.
I'm pretty sure we have. We got the Voyager in here. How's your father? Skip Edwards says kick Bancroft already. We got Jay Ryan. Why did you write 8?
Because I was the 8th person.
Oh, okay. Usually 8th has another H on the end there.
Usually.
Stephen Rockwood with the nice big areolas. We got Darth Josh here. Jaro. Who else? Big Boy Robo's here. Rescue the Great salutes Mike and Rob, but not Paul Camel.
That kind of goes. That happens to Camel a lot.
I don't even know who he is. He says you got Sumo Story, Arthur Line, James says, hello, Michael. Any guests you have on, and all of you fine folks frequenting the chat, I hope you're having a great day. I am. Well, my work day is over. Now my drawing day begins again. Begins anew. I draw in the morning before work and then in the night after work. So this is the start of it. Once I finish this tea. If I didn't do it, there'd be no Lucent. So that's the only other option you get. I can also see David Feed. I can see Mo Biggs. How Mo Biggs. And I can see who else is here. Who else has decided to join us here in the Palais Ballroom this evening? Do you remember that line? Blues Brothers?
I've never seen it.
Oh.
I've seen clips. I don't like it. I've tried to watch it. It's not for me.
Guess what? Guess what? My wife and I watched last night, Camel.
Pokemon?
Top Gun. The original.
God, it's so bad.
You forget
no,
how
it
bad
isn't.
it is.
It's great. It's great. What's
no.
wrong with it?
It's terrible.
It's like two movies in one. You have like this awesome action movie with all the planes flying around and shooting each other, and then there's like this love story in the middle, which is just cringe. It's horrible.
It's horrible. And then there's the other love story of Tom Cruise finding out that he's gay and not knowing how to deal with it.
No,
there's more scenes in that movie of dudes with their shirts off in locker rooms than any other movie in existence, than Porky's. It's
so many musical parts.
Yeah. Highway to the
but there's so many musical parts. Like there's Tom Cruise and Goose singing like 4 different songs.
That's how I learnt
weird.
You better you've lost that love and feeling.
Yeah.
Also, that's probably the first movie. It's the first movie I ever felt something weird, seeing like an adult.
What?
You know, like it's because it's probably the first quasi-sex scene I ever saw when I was a young kid.
Was it a tingling feeling?
What's going on there? I don't know if there was a tingle.
You just mentioned the volleyball, then you said you felt something weird.
No, not the volleyball, because like you can see their tongues kissing, like licking each other, and I was like, that ain't no normal kiss. What is that?
That's Tom Cruise proving to everyone on set he wasn't gay that day.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Tom Cruise's side children.
There's that scene where he's in the bathroom and Tom Skerritt comes and talks to him and he's like in his underwear. What the fuck is this? He's like, you got to do what's right for you.
It was the 80s, man.
It was, gay.
No, in the 80s, if you were the coolest guy in your school, you would go to school in a crop top and short shorts. That's just what it was like in the 80s.
Yeah.
And you'd probably have a perm on and maybe some mascara. I don't know.
Yeah.
They have this really awkward hug at the end of the movie too. Like, you know when you go to hug another man, but you don't want to do the full commit, so you do a knuckle?
Yeah.
They did that full
great line,
hug.
though. You're right. You could be my wingman anytime. Bullshit. You can be mine. I mean, that's all you need to say. And then you throw the... I've seen that movie like 50 times.
Movie.
If they took all the love parts and just left the fighter stuff, that would be cool. Mike, what do we got going on here?
This is Ella lying in the waters of death. Previously mentioned.
No. Is she really?
Well, she's in front of the ziggurat. So maybe the waters of death is dissipated by now because as you can see, the ziggurat is it's seen better days.
It's like a big religious
it's not
structure.
A pyramid. It's that thing in the it's in the Lucent.
It looks like a slip and slide.
Do I have to bring it up?
Like a crocodile mile? Did she just run through the crocodile mile? She's all wet now.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. Thank you, David. Thank you. Let me pull it up. God damn. Friggin'. I have to pull it up anyway because I want to use a similar palette.
Yeah, those feet are pretty good, dude. I don't know what you're worried about.
I know I was having trouble with the toes live, so I just kind of gave up. And I did take my time on them afterwards. It was poison water like 5,000 years ago, but I don't know if it is considered now. I'm sure they would have found this place in the meantime. You know?
You say so.
Let me pull this up. Where the hell is it? Where the hell is it?
Oh, I'll show my page too, because I know you guys always want to see what I'm working on. Want to see more Crocs. Oh, wait. You know what? Maybe I could do it like this time. There we go.
Maybe she's just immune to the poison. Bancroft.
That's a ziggurat camel.
There's like 5 things in this picture. Oh, that's a slip and slide.
That is not a slip and slide.
You go up the stairs, and the other side is a slide, and you go right down.
No.
Ancient slip and slide.
It's an ancient temple from the Mesopotamian era.
From Parker Brothers.
Sumerians and all that.
All right.
This is not a slip and slide. And I'm thinking a similar palette to this. But I'm going to really try and channel some J. Scott Campbell in this coloring, get really heavy on the holds. So yeah, there won't be much black, if you know what I mean.
You need to put like water on her. You know, like dripping water, sexy dripping water.
I don't think so. I'll see. If I do that, I'll do that in the coloring. I wouldn't draw that on anyway.
And we're looking at a crotch shot again, Camel. It's like you have a knack for it. And you're working on a pair of boobs.
That's a troll. Troll boobs.
Trolls have boobs.
Yeah, I guess. Hey, look at this. I'm drinking this soda here. You see this?
Coca-Cola.
Coca-Cola Starlight. It's from space. It says space flavored.
What is space flavored? I don't think you can really disprove their claim either. I mean, who's tasted space?
I know.
Well, I've
tastes just like the old space.
Just like space, how I used to remember back when I was a Pokemon master.
Oh my god.
I imagine this is what space tastes like. It tastes kind of like vanilla.
Now with
Like,
SpaceX up and running, they can just fly a rocket out there and just collect space dust.
Get like
analyze the
one
taste.
of those big arms, animatronic arms, and just encapsulate it and then bring it back down with them.
I want to show something else actually. I'm just trying to close some. Yeah, I'm trying to close some things down. I was very busy at work today, and I don't want it to slow things down. We've got files open and
Cherry
stuff.
Coke, gross.
But I also want to show. I also want to share this. Cherry Cola.
It's not bad.
Check this out.
We saw it at Target. I was like, let's just try it.
I'm gonna stay zoomed out because I don't want to give away too much. But I put together the pages that Rod has done for me in InDesign in order, so I can see what they look like. And it looks like that.
Oh, that's a doozy, that first one. Look at that. That's beautiful.
Yeah, I'm very happy with how this is turning out. This is exactly what I was thinking.
Wow.
So, yeah, a little bit of a sneaky peek. And that's like 1/5 or 6 of the book done already.
Man, he's good at backgrounds, isn't he?
That's what I'm paying him for. That's why he's getting the big bucks.
Ooh. It looks like
none of these John Mayland numbers that he's throwing around. All right.
So what's
may
first?
As well go back to Camel because I'm gonna go and find a palette as well from another thing. What colors I want to give her.
There you go. What is this? Is this? Oh shit! Get out of here. I'm fucking tired of this.
Claude Agent.
But what is this back here? Is this Ella? This is the same character.
Yes, that's it. You've stolen my Ella. What the hell?
I
doesn't
drew
wear a
this
mask.
10 years ago, bro.
No, mine doesn't wear a mask. She has red hair. What kind of pants does she got on? Does she have?
Well, she actually has a
and
skirt.
long.
Yeah.
Does she have long boots?
Does she have long boots? Yeah, actually, I wonder if I have this here I can show. Oh, where the fuck is it? Everything is lost today. Oh, it's over here. Let me find it.
Well, it just goes to show great minds think alike. That's all.
I'm actually not upset at all. I think it's kind of funny. So this is
we both kind of ripped off Carmen San Diego anyway.
Yeah, so it doesn't mean anything to me. Can you guys see this?
Oh yeah, that's cool.
So this is a triptych that's going to come out on not the next campaign, but the campaign after. And so the three covers go together. But like, yeah, this is this girl. It's also this one. So it's almost the same.
It is very similar. Although her boots go up higher, so totally different. Hello, Dave Brink. Welcome, my friend. At some point, I'm going to get to coloring, but I'm just taking my sweet ass time.
I'm looking at Carmen San Diego.
Carmen San Diego is more of a woman. You know?
Mm-hmm.
What's Ella then?
A young woman.
She looks like she's possessed there.
She kind of is.
Oh, I like this. Just keep it as is. Done.
Just that bit flat.
Yep.
We'll put some color in there.
Oh, that's a dark color. Dark skin color. Is starting dark and going light? What are you doing? Talk me through it.
Yeah, usually. I mean, this is just I just pulled this straight off that other one that you just saw. So if it ends up being too dark or whatever, I'll just lighten up. But you've got to have some kind of level of darkness to it, so that it so the highlights work. You know, pick up on it well.
And have you got it all masked out or not?
No, this is what I'm kind of doing now.
Okay.
This would be known as flatting.
You ain't got time for flatting.
Well, who am I going to send it to? I'm going to send it to a flatter.
Yeah, I would. I'd send it to Shelby's flatter. He's really good.
Yeah, but I'm here right now. Are they going to get it back to me in time to end the show?
Probably. Honestly, he's really quick. I think like he turns around like 15 minutes sometimes. Mo, where are your hilarious insults? We need them.
You know, I found that Mo doesn't watch Camel Knights.
He's not the only one.
What are you trying to say, Camel?
You know, where are you, Mo? I thought you were cool. I thought you wanted to hang out with the cool kids.
Well, you wanted to be shamed.
He doesn't want to be shamed. Oh, well, I actually thought of a new grift. Speaking of shamed, I'm going to start having the chat only for members.
What do you mean?
So if you want to talk into the chat, it's $1 a month.
That is terrible. It's like the channel killing idea that I've ever heard.
That's it, everybody. See ya. It's been real. I think it's a great idea.
Or you could just make it $10. You know,
$100.
Top priced.
$100, and the show is now member gated from launch. There's no free version. Viewership will go down to 3 people.
In fact, you have to pay upfront at least 3 episodes in advance.
Can you imagine upfront? Hey, chat, what do you guys think? For I want to see a 1 if I should price gate the chat. A 2 if I should not. Let's see what they think.
A 3 if you don't care.
I see that as a 1.
Camel trying to push the grift to the extremes.
Oh, yeah.
Always.
People are loving it. James Hayes, that's the end of Camel Moon. Okay, go ahead. Great idea. K2000 says, great if you want to lose subscribers. Oh, the numbers are coming.
He's already losing subscribers.
1, 3.
Yeah, I don't have to worry about that.
This is a desperate bid of a madman in his last gasp of power.
I'm reading all these 3s, but it's just David Feed typing 3 about 50 times.
Yeah, doesn't count, bro. 1 vote, 1 person, 1 vote. Yeah, Nolan Lockhart makes a good point. How else will I know who to shame? Well, fine. You win this round.
You'll just start shaming me and Bancroft.
You know what I'll do is I'll just pick out names at random that I know watch the show and shame them for me not seeing them in green. That makes sense.
Is Jizzle a member? Because I can't have you go a week without calling her Jizzle.
Jizzle is a member.
Okay, good.
Lucky for Jizzle.
Will Red says he lost 10 subs in the last few hours while I was sleeping. I have no idea how.
Yeah, welcome to the party, pal.
I'm up about 30 or 40 subs this week.
You're
It's been a
up?
good week. Yeah.
Stephen Rockwood says, not enough nipple in this. Yeah, Bancroft, seriously.
Ella doesn't have nipples. We all know that. Draw the line. She was born without nipples, which will make it difficult if she ever wants to breastfeed. But
Antoine says
I don't think I'll be writing that story.
His name is Will Uncanny Valley because he's close to human, but not quite.
Yes, correct. I do the best impression of a human I can. This is my critique of all of you.
Adam Lawson's in the chat. Adam Lawson,
Yo.
Wesley Snipes. The Exile? Is that what it's called?
Is not Wesley Snipes.
How do you know?
But he is working with him.
How do you know?
Skin tone.
Yeah, exactly. Wow, that is so
It's
racist of
boldish.
you, Bancroft. Unbelievable. Yeah.
No.
I
never said I wasn't
people in
racist.
here.
I never made that promise.
65 people in here, Bancroft.
Yeah,
Anything
welcome,
you wanna-
everybody.
you
Welcome
wanna-
to
you
the
wanna say to
show.
them?
I want to say hello and welcome. I'm working on a swimsuit piece of Ella for CG Vacation. Camel is working on finishing Hal Salad. Rob is doing the best he can, which is all we can really ask for.
My best
Yeah, welcome to the show. Please
is good enough sometimes.
Please like the stream. That helps. Subscribing helps me get further in front of Camel. And consider. I put the link in the description for CG Vacation if anyone hasn't signed up for that and wants to. I'm hoping this piece will be in there. I don't know if it will.
He has to select soon, or like.
I mean, he might just think, I don't really like it. I don't know.
Oh, I see.
It's the same with Visions. I mean, if John doesn't like it, he's not going to put it in his book.
Oh, well, then I don't know if I'll do it.
Camel only bets on a sure thing.
Well, kind of, because if I have to spend the time doing it and I have other things to do, I mean, that's kind of a possibility of a big waste of time.
Well, I mean, just don't make it shit, and I'm sure you'll be fine.
Yeah,
That's what I'm trying to do.
Yeah.
Looks like we've got everyone in here. Elder Schnelly, Sumo Thori, Andy Contreras, Jordan Host, John, Micra. Good to see everyone.
On this fine, what is it, Sunday evening over there?
Sunday, yeah.
I could never remember when this stream is on.
Well, they're just the day before us.
I know, but for some reason
not that hard.
Doesn't work for me.
I usually forget till about an hour before it's up, and I'm like, oh yeah.
Well, you don't have to. Not like I'm paying to
it. Just leave.
Camel.
We were chatting. Oh, go on, Rob.
What 80s movie action star would you want to write a comic with if you could choose?
Well, what do you mean by with? Like they haven't, like it's about them? Or like they just have input into my story?
I would imagine it's about them.
Yeah.
Because why else
it
would
starts
you
off
include
as a comic, and they're hoping it can get picked up into a movie.
I've always wanted to do a Stallone Schwarzenegger Contra comic. I think that would be awesome. And they've never made a comic for Contra either.
Melissa McCarthy, isn't it?
Hang on, what was the genre? Was it 80s action or just 80s?
Yeah, 80s action.
Maybe Top Gun?
All those pages
that would be a good comic, I reckon. Lots of glistening dudes. Lots of one-liners. Lots of fighter, like plane action. I don't know. What's not to love? Tom Cruise is still a very bankable star. If I got Tom Cruise attached to one of my crowd funds, that's like a golden ticket.
I always say this, and I stick to it. I think if they hadn't cast Robert Downey Jr. as Iron Man, Tom Cruise would have been a pretty decent alternative.
Well, he was originally scheduled to do it, wasn't he? For like 10 years, they talked about having Tom Cruise in it.
And I'm glad that it wasn't Tom Cruise, but yeah, maybe. I don't know.
Tom Cruise can only play Tom Cruise. He doesn't act. Yeah, except for when he's in Tropic Thunder. But every other version of Tom Cruise, it's always the same. It's always like the cocksure a-hole who's got like the sort of like charm, and he's a little egotistical, and then eventually he gets to a point where he realizes that the charm isn't going to get him everywhere in life, and then he finds himself wrapped up in something bigger than he can handle, and then he has one scene where he freaks out and gets really depressed, and then he makes it all out of it by the end of the movie.
Are you just reciting the plot to A Few Good Men?
I was actually reciting the plot to every movie he's ever made.
Well, it was pretty good for A Few Good Men.
Yeah,
but maybe that's just his. Maybe that he just got typecast, and it's a really
yeah. But you can't get typecast if you're the lead. I mean, those movies are made for him. It's also every Mission Impossible. It's Cocktail.
Yeah, Mission Impossible is meant to be Mission Impossible. It's meant to be that way, you know. Lethal Diva says Tom Cruise is a great actor. What are you smoking, Camel?
Yeah, I think he's pretty good. I really liked. I mean, even though it does fit what Camel just said, I really liked the what is it? The friggin' The Last Samurai.
I
'Cause
like that movie too.
I had a reaction when I first saw it, like, come off it. How is Tom Cruise me The Last Samurai? But then it ended up being a good movie, so I forgave it. But he was good in that.
Rick says Ryan Reynolds is Ryan Reynolds in every movie. Dude, I don't know
Yeah,
how
I
much
agree with
more
that too.
Ryan
That's true.
Reynolds I can handle. Like, it's good in small
I'm
doses.
not
It's the
done with
same
Ryan
thing.
Reynolds yet.
It's the same thing every movie.
Yeah, but that's why people hire him. They
Yeah,
probably
but-
write those parts for him.
It's just, it's too much. Well, Red says Rob is Rob in everything I see him in. So blah. Taps was his best role. I haven't seen that. Mo Biggs, Camel would lose points for remembering what Cocktail was about, but he gets a pass because it's the same as all his other movies.
I like Cocktail. That also gave me some tingles when I was a younger man, a young lad.
Lethal
she-
Diva says Kevin Costner is like one of the most overrated actors.
What? Maybe. I don't think he's overrated, but I love a lot of the movies he's in. I'm a big fan of Kevin Costner. I wouldn't say, I mean, he's not Daniel Day-Lewis or anything, but it's the job done.
It's funny though, like everyone thought he was amazing, and then he did Waterworld, and everyone thought he was terrible, and he kind of hasn't recovered from Waterworld. People still think he's terrible.
I don't think he's terrible. I think he just did some flops. I mean, he's been like poorly cast before in, say, The Bodyguard, but I still like that movie.
Did it give you tingles?
No, I was too old by then.
Oh.
Although she was pretty hot in that movie. That was
Yeah.
like pre-crackhead days.
I tell you who's I think is a really good actor. Brad Pitt. I reckon he's
amazing.
He doesn't get the acclaim because he's so pretty.
I think he does. I think he gets loads of acclaim.
I think he's underrated. I think people underrate his acting ability.
I don't.
Well, you're wrong.
I think it's a songbird of a generation. I mean, he was brilliant in Fight Club. Him and Edward Norton.
Thanks,
that
man.
was like a powerhouse.
How good was he in Fight Club, dude? It's amazing.
He was amazing. 12 Monkeys.
Great.
7. He's an amazing actor. I don't know what you... everyone acknowledges that. Inglourious Bastards.
I don't think they do. I really don't.
I think they do. Like, it took Ocean's 11. It took Leonardo DiCaprio to be on screen with him to upstage him. You know, I think he's a pretty up there actor. Moneyball.
Micro says, you know who I think is a good actor? Academy Award nominated actor Brad Pitt.
Yeah, exactly. He's like one of the most bankable stars. He plays so many different roles. Yeah.
I think his acting ability is not as well recognized because he's attractive.
You are talking like it's still 1994, and the only thing anyone's
Yeah,
seen
like,
of him
they've
is
only
that
seen
one
him
where
in
he had the
Thelma
long
and
hair.
Louise.
Exactly.
Okay.
That's a long time has passed since then. He went out of his way to just play weird, kooky characters for like 10 years. And
If
established
he was
himself
more,
as probably one of the top 3 male actors in Hollywood who were
if
young.
he was more unattractive, he would have won an Oscar by now.
It took Leonardo DiCaprio like 20 movies that all were Oscar worthy to win one. The Oscars is
And then he won
political
one
bullshit.
where it was terrible.
I know
Remnants
because they
all-
were like, "This is the end."
Yeah.
Like honestly, this is beyond the pale. He's like
So-
the best actor in 50 years, and he hasn't won an Oscar. You know,
But I mean, Brad Pitt hasn't won one. Leo has. I mean, that's proof enough.
Rob,
Didn't Brad Pitt win for
Stop it.
Fury?
I don't know. Probably.
is Fury good? I haven't seen it.
I
never
enjoyed
seen
it.
it.
And it's a war movie, Mike. I liked it. Elder Schnelly
I'll
says
check it
Rob
out.
is out of his tiny mind. Dude, that's
You know what
rough.
movie we watched the other night, Mel and I, and I was really pleasantly surprised. Mortal Kombat, the new one.
No,
The
no,
new one is great.
no,
The new one's amazing.
no. You're
What?
both wrong.
What?
It was
What?
terrible.
What was wrong with it?
The new one.
I would have thought you'd love that
Oh
movie,
my
Rob. It's
God,
just
I
like
can't
It's
killing
great.
and
Mike.
gore.
It
and-
is.
It totally
fucking
nailed
What's
it.
wrong with it?
Holy crap! You guys like that movie?
I was like, I'm really enjoying this. It's
That,
fun.
and I was impressed
It's,
by
like,
it has
that-
a story.
the dude the Australian was hilarious, and I was
Yeah,
like,
he was
there was
funny.
100%.
It carried the
that
whole
was written-
movie.
100%, a little bit. That was written by an Australian. That character, like some of the stuff he was saying, it was esoteric Australian stuff, and it was all 100% accurate. It was 100% accurate, and then you know you get to the end, and then they actually play that because the whole time I'm just sitting there going, you know, and then they start playing, and I'm like, yes, Mortal Kombat. I had a ball.
I think
thought
that
it was
movie
great.
was totally, you know, it went under the radar. Everyone hated it because they thought they should hate it. I don't think you had one actual intelligent person reviewing that movie.
Wow.
I think it's one of the best movies that came out of 2021.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
I'd
does
agree
that
with
mean
that. I would
anything
agree with that,
anymore,
actually.
Camel? Oh, I can't
good.
even. I don't want to hear your takes on movies anymore, Mike. First, you had Shang-Chi and the Ten Rings. Now you have Mortal Kombat. I just don't believe anything.
Well,
you,
keep
you
in
say
mind that
anymore.
I'm watching these while I'm drawing, so certain small details may be missed, and it's like I'm sitting down anyway. So I have very low expectations, and I guess I was just pleasantly surprised. I was like, "This is going to be dog shit," and it
Yeah,
wasn't.
that's exactly.
So I really
And-
enjoyed it.
I think it's just the kind of dumb nonsense I was Liu Kang for.
Oh, dude, I am this close to kicking you off. Oh my god, that was bad.
Oh,
Oh,
that was brilliant. That was brilliant.
Uh,
Travis T for 5 just tweeted a video at you, gents. Try not to fall out of your chair when you see it, Camel.
Mhm.
Oh, let me check this out.
Okay. I don't know if it's as good as my Pokemon movie, but it's up there.
yeah, the Shang-Chi guy really pissed me off because, you know, he may and may not have said it. I'm pretty sure he did say it. But you're saying like he's the only like action star representing Asia or some shit. And it's just like, you are full of shit, dude. No one likes you.
You fucking asshole.
Shut up.
I don't know why Travis has sent us this. He has.
Can't be worse than your take on bloody Mortal Kombat.
I'm looking forward to a sequel.
I
Oh,
am,
dude.
and they're making it. It got greenlit. I think they're already filming it.
excellent.
I'm like, yes. Trilogy edition. I need to buy the box set of all three of them.
Mortal
I hope
Kombat.
they play the music more.
Yeah, and the way they do it, it's like there's an orchestral version of it when he's fighting
Yeah.
Scorpion. This is brilliant. It's great. It's great.
The fight
Maybe
scenes
went out, I
between
bought the
Mortal
game
Kombat,
again.
between Scorpion and Sub-Zero were good. I'll give you that. But that movie
I
was
thought all
so
the fight
shit.
scenes were good.
That was so shit, that movie. I watched the whole thing and I was 5 minutes to go to the end. I'm like, fuck this. I'm out. I'm not finishing this shithouse movie.
What?
You're
It had a
lost.
good emotional hook. I mean, and it literally had a
That's where you
hook
lost me.
as well as an emotional hook.
Physical hook. I was
Zach
physically
Bananas for
and emotionally
$4.99. Camel Moon's description of Tom Cruise movies just described Iron Man's plot play by play. Yeah, I think it's a popular.
Yeah, it's like a common trope for. That's probably why they got Robert Downey to do it. I mean, it's an interchangeable character.
It was literally when he was saying it, I was just thinking A Few Good Men, because that's usually the first thing I think of when I think Tom Cruise, and it was exact.
Right, I was describing The Firm, but they're all the same.
Adam says Shang-Chi was a knockoff of Jet Li's Hero and he's Once Upon a Time in China, but terribly done.
I liked Hero. Is it like Hero? I would watch it. I heard Abomination's in it. That's interesting.
All right. Travis T wanted us to see this for some reason.
We're joined here by Mr. J.J. Marsh, Mr. USA, Mr. Pro Ironman, IFBB professional, Olympia competitor, a whole slew of titles. We're going to find out how he gets these calves so big.
All these guys are dead, by the way. They all had heart attacks.
We work hard. We play hard.
Yep, that'll do it.
If I ever go over to Florida Camel, this is what we're doing.
Hey, babes, can you get me and Mike some lemonade?
Camel.
We're working our calves out tonight.
We're gonna be in here all night. Don't bother knocking.
I can see Malin adding this to his intro.
Look how he's like checking it out.
I'm gonna put that our intro, and put me and Mike, and then I'm gonna put Rob watching us.
I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that. You two can get your
I'm gonna do that for the
raise
game
on.
I'm gonna do that for Tuesday. That's my project tomorrow.
Oh, Camel, you have to do it. So it looks like your legs don't work though.
I'm gonna do the guy. I'll be the guy who's riding Mike, right? Because my legs.
Yes,
don't.
Exactly. Yeah.
Otherwise, it'd be
Sumo Thori.
Sumo Thori for 5. Are these the topics we can look forward to if we pay to be members of Camel's new chat?
Of course. What do you think we do there? It's all gay all the time. You know, Aldous, whatever his
Just
name
no
is.
homo.
He said the other day in a back room, he was like, "That's my favorite show." He goes, "I like it actually more than Camel Nights because of the rapport that the three of us have there." The gay rapport.
Oh my god. Chat. What was the worst take? My talking about Brad Pitt being an underrated actor, or Mike liking Mortal Kombat? Let me know.
Speaking of, I have 2 movies.
Hang on.
Okay.
My take is an opinion on a movie. Your take is objectively wrong.
In your opinion.
No.
Yeah.
Brad Pitt is recognized as one of the top actors working in Hollywood and has been for like two decades or more.
Oh, dude, come on. Brad Pitt was way worse, underrated actor. Mortal Kombat. Thank you, David.
All you're just
you need to
haters of the sacred tournament. That's all I know.
You need to go watch the Resident Evil remake. It's amazing.
The only thing that could have made Mortal
I don't
Kombat
believe
better.
you.
The only thing that could have made Mortal Kombat better is if they had had the guy who originally played Raiden come back.
Lambert.
Yeah. Hey, Raiden, come to the tournament. Like that.
He's like a goofy wacko.
God, Elder is killing me today. Bancroft is correct. You're a clown, Rob.
Yeah.
That's painful.
My wife, this weekend, we watched a movie. It was called Old. Have you heard of this?
I've heard of it, yeah.
It's amazing.
Serious.
It's the dumbest thing you'll ever watch in your life, but it totally, I was hooked. It's about this family. They go to this beach and they age an entire lifetime in 24 hours. And it's totally bonkers. It goes right.
It looked depressing. Is it?
Have you? Meh. I mean, you know, the people that you hate don't make it off the island. The people you like make it off the island. So you know, you
What
can
if you
kinda
don't
get
like
around.
anyone?
Well, then don't watch it, I guess.
I have trouble watching movies after I've had a family. Any movie that involves a family now, I can't help but insert my own family into it and think,
No.
Well, as
like,
I'm
it's a real
watching it,
issue.
I said to my wife, I was like, "Oh, this is just like Bancroft's family," because they have like a kid. The two kids are your kid's age, and I was like,
Yeah,
"Oh yeah." So I was like, "It's like watching Bancroft on vacation," and then
You
the
just-
shit hit the
exactly.
fan.
So that's why I was like, no, I can't, because I would just be thinking that, and it would get like, oh,
Yeah.
You just picture it as someone else's family that you hate. It's easy.
it never used to be like that. I used to just be able to watch anything. I can't do it anymore. I've becoming a dad has unlocked emotions that I can't put back in the bottle.
That's how I feel about when I watch like the X-Men or something. You know, like I identify too much with Wolverine, so it's hard for me to sit through them all.
a short man.
Sure, man. Yeah. Rage.
Mike, we need some clarification on this. Michael Bancroft, what is Mortal Kombat out of 10? You can like 5 or 6 out of 10 and not claim it's some great film.
Am I comparing it to Schindler's List and Silence of the Lambs, or am I comparing it to just how much I enjoyed it?
To Mortal Kombat 1 and 2.
Yeah, exactly. What's the parameters here?
I think how much you enjoyed it, Mike.
How much I enjoyed it, how happy I was that we put it on and watched it, I would say about a 7.5. But in terms of the whole pantheon of film, you know, it's
like a
it's a
5.
Mortal Kombat.
A 6 maybe. Yeah, I think people have a real problem differentiating between liking a movie and the movie being good. Like quotey fingers good.
Yeah, I liked Rise of Skywalker.
Yeah, yeah, me too. I was like, it's stupid.
I was just like,
I get that
I don't
it's
care.
stupid.
Star Wars is dead to me. I don't care anymore. This is just a stupid movie with lightsabers and things blasting around. It doesn't even have to make sense. And as soon as I came into it with that attitude, I was like, yeah, it's fine, whatever.
Yeah, that's how I felt about that Resident Evil remake. And people are like, oh, it's nothing like the games. I was like, it's actually more like the games than the other movies. And it's stupid. Like, what do you want? What do you really want? Do you want like an actual Schindler's List of Resident Evil? It doesn't exist. It's impossible. The story does not lend itself to being a high caliber film. It's a dumb story about fucking zombies, man. Like, grow up.
Ralph Mack says, you guys should review movies like RLM. I know who that is.
The three of us, yeah. Gay letter media.
That would be pretty funny.
Should
Eric
we
says, I
do a
love all
movie
the...
review show? How about we do a movie review segment on the video game show? We'll
As
have
long
to
as
have all
it's
seen the movie,
divisive.
though.
Yeah,
That's the
I'm pretty
problem.
bad with having seen movies. I don't go to the movies anymore, so I don't see them for years and years.
Yeah.
Sumo says, don't call Schindler's List a dumb story about zombies, Camel.
Two people.
No one gets it.
Well, that was an interesting take, Mike. Camel Gate kept your comment. Oh yeah, Eric says, I love all the Bay Transformers movies, but I acknowledge that they are all awful. I really like the first one.
Yeah, I enjoyed the first one.
Downhill from there for me. Like I lost
The
all
Bumblebee
interest.
one's pretty good too.
Yeah, it's not bad actually. I'll give you that.
I've only seen one Fast and the Furious movie, and it was the spin-off. It wasn't even a Fast and the Furious movie. It was with The Rock and Jason Statham.
Yeah,
I enjoyed it. And even though I had to leave,
Hobbs and Shaw or something.
Yeah, I had to leave 15 minutes before the end of the movie, but I still enjoyed it anyway. I still haven't seen the ending. I don't know what happens. I mean, I guess they win.
They win. That's yeah.
Yeah.
My wife loves those movies.
Timothy Fitzgerald has it. Mortal Kombat is a video game movie. It should be judged with its ilk, and among that genre, it's pretty good. Yeah,
Yes,
especially a
thank you.
fighting video game movie. A lot of these games now, they're like epic. You know, they have full lore and stuff. This is Mortal Kombat. You know, it's a tournament fought with in the outer world or whatever. Like, what do you want? What do you want, people? All the characters are completely
Video game
exaggerated.
movies, like the bar is so low.
It's getting higher. I mean, look at Arcane.
That's not a movie; it's a TV series.
It's
animated. It's too. You can't compare. You can't use animated stuff because there's lots of good animated stuff.
Can't you?
No. You know what movie I wish got a sequel? Disturbia. I really liked that movie.
I don't know if I know what that is.
Have you seen it, Camel? Surely you've seen Disturbia.
That's the one that's ripped off of Rear Window, isn't it?
I haven't seen Rear Window.
It's with Shia LaBeouf.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's ripped off of Rear Window.
He's actually a very good actor for being a douchebag. I ain't quite.
Yeah, there's a Hitchcock movie called Rear Window. It's the same story.
It's the one, Rob, that I used for the. Hang on, I've got it right here. Why talk about it when we can show it? Where the hell is it? Come on, you got to be in here somewhere. Don't make a liar out of me.
Yes,
Is that
that's
it?
exactly what I said, Sumo.
Here it is. I think this is it. What realization did I come to? Like at the end, he looks to the side. He's realizing something.
He's realizing it gives him tingles. He's wondering why.
Is that what you see at your backyard, Rob? Because you got kangaroos
all the time, mate. All the time.
I see that, but it's my wife with the neighbor. It's a little weird.
Oh, come on. Some respect.
Like, what is
your
this?
wife, man?
I thought she was going on a run.
Fucking hell. I hope she's not listening. Jesus. This is why people become unmembers from Camel's show. And he wonders. He's like, YouTube is messing with him. I'm like, nah, dude. It's probably the alligator eating the dog. Just saying.
It's the off-color jokes, Camel. Don't tell him. Yeah.
Eric says, "How far we have strayed from God." What do you mean? That is as nature intended. Kangaroos, they love in many different ways, and sometimes the trains get long. Like those, I don't think there's only 3 or 4. Sometimes you can get up to 6 or 7 of those kangaroos. I didn't show them though because I don't want to get too lewd. The kangas.
I don't even know how you follow that up, Mike.
She looks naked. What color am I going to make her a bikini?
Red, white, and blue, of course.
I was thinking maybe white. I'll have a look.
Stars and stripes.
No.
Why don't you just make it aquamarine?
Well, I was thinking that as well. Like, do lucent colors, but she's going to be this all this water. This isn't going to be black. This is going to be blue. So,
did you hear that chat?
I'll
Mike
see.
just said he hates America.
What an asshole.
Okay, Rob. Okay. Funny joke. Haha.
Hot pink. Pink.
No. Not pink. Ella would never wear pink.
So is this one of
I don't
those
know
times
saying.
like you're asking for someone's opinion, but you have no intention of actually listening to what they say?
Possibly.
Yeah, okay, cool. Stars and bars. So what are you thinking, Mike? White?
Well, I'll make it white for
You
now,
rebel.
and then I won't. I'll change it once I've sort of, done the holds and.
Steve
Yeah,
says,
got more of a palette
recently saw a blue bikini top with stars on it, and I liked it. I wonder what you said.
Dale liked it the most.
That was something. Arthurline says, so white then? Geez, Bancroft must hate those K values. Crackhead says, make it lucent blue. Black with yellow flowers.
I'm not going to put a pattern on it. You crazy?
You should cut out a bit of the Eiffel Tower page that you did and put it on her
Make that
her
the pattern.
bikini. Yeah.
Mel actually used to have an Australian bikini, with the flag. Remember that?
Eric says, did Dale survive the stream or did he die of nosebleed? I don't know. I think he was okay.
She's looking a bit different there. She's more relaxed here. I gave her a little cheeky smile too.
Oh yeah, subtle.
See that?
Mm.
What's she thinking about? Just playing with the sand like that. I'll leave that up to the reader.
She's
to the viewer. I mean, you're not really reading anything.
She's thinking about the let me see the dong.
Where's that dong? Where'd it go?
I'm gonna have to give her some. I've never done this before. I'm gonna have to give her some. What's this called on the eyelid?
What?
Mascara?
The makeup that goes on the eyelid. Is that mascara?
Yeah.
No, eyeshadow.
Eyeshadow. Yeah, mascara is on the eyelashes, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
She needs something on her eyelids.
Yeah, you should put like bright blue and see how that looks.
Again, no.
Once again, Rob dreaming of Rod. What's your nickname for Rod, Bancroft? Do you call him Hot Rod? Do you call him Rodimus Prime?
He's Rod. He's the Rod. The Rod. Doesn't need another nickname.
Hooker Blue. Yeah, that's what I was trying to get him to do. Ardodon. Why not a G-string bikini, Mike?
Ella's too classy for a G.
Rod Prime. Smoky Eye. Yeah, Smoky Eye. Chicks like to do Smoky Eye, don't they? Charu says bright blue eyeshadow. Rob's keeping it trashy. I like it.
I didn't even really like G-strings. You guys like G-strings?
No. I prefer nothing.
I don't like, even if the woman has a really incredible body, I don't like when I'm walking out on the street to, I don't know, get some
Solicit
toilet
prostitution.
paper.
Okay.
Seeing a chick walking down the street with really thin, so not like the stuff that hugs and pulls and lifts up, really thin lycra yoga pants, so that she's all sort of hanging out there and she's bouncing like budunk budunk budunk, and you can see everything. Absolutely, she may as well be naked. I don't appreciate that, and I don't know when that came into being, and I'm not about it.
Well, Mike, it is so that when they wear like normal underpants and they're wearing the yoga pants, you can see the outline of the normal underpants. That's why they don't wear them.
Huh? They're not wearing, but they're not wearing any normal pants. Can't they just wear normal jeans or a dress?
Well, dude, I agree with you. I mean, I don't have as much problem as you do with G-strings. I have more of a problem when people are wearing yoga pants that shouldn't be wearing yoga pants.
Oh, well, there's obviously that.
It's like,
there's obviously that. I mean, no one likes that. But
you should need a license, I think, to wear certain clothes. Like
you
there's
get
a
a
committee.
check.
Yeah, you got to go, and they're like, all right, and there's like a panel of 10 dudes, and they're like, we've
all
decided.
named Camel Moon.
All named Camel. the panel of Camel. The Camel panel. And we decide. We give you a rank, 1 through 10, and unless you maintain an average of an 8.5, like it's not happening. You cannot have that license.
Dude Man says, bless the man who invented yoga pants. I kind of feel like it's a double-edged sword, though.
It is, very much. It's like, imagine us wearing yoga pants and
God.
the junk wobbling around.
Yeah, thank you.
Who would want to see that? Well, that's the equivalent. What percentage of women out there wearing yoga pants do you think the average person actually wants to see wearing yoga pants?
Once when I was in my
0.01%?
mid-20s, I think, I bought really skinny jeans. They were so skinny. I needed I pulled them up and I couldn't pull them off. I had to have my friend and his girlfriend pull them off me. And before they pulled them up, and they looked at it, they started laughing. They're like, "You look like Daffy Duck." My legs were so thin, but yeah, I looked like I was wearing yoga pants.
How did you get a wife?
Oh, it's a mystery.
It's like
through YouTube. That's the only way he could have done it. He was like semi-famous through YouTube. That was it.
Yeah,
like a minor YouTube celebrity.
All those days were behind me, thankfully.
I don't know if it's still happening, but there was a phase like 10, 15 years ago where guys would just wear skinny jeans, but they'd work out.
It's still happening. It's still happening.
They get massive, like massive up top. And this guy that came to the gym, he wouldn't do leg workouts at all, just so he could wear skinny jeans. So it's like the most bizarre thing you've ever seen. It's so crazy.
Was this you, Rob?
No, dude.
They wear skinny jeans, and then the jeans, now the style is it doesn't go down past the ankle. So you get a bare ankle and then like boater shoes, and then you got a mullet on top. It's all sorts of shambles.
All sounds terrible.
This is what the kids are wearing these days.
But Bancroft's right. I couldn't get a wife by conventional means. I had to become pseudo-internet famous.
Yeah.
I knew that from a very young age. I was like, I'm not going to be able to pull this off unless people think that I'm somehow worth more than I am.
Crackett says skinny jeans are the worst thing to happen to the male species in decades. Can't think of
Yeah,
anything
I
worse.
threw out the jeans. I never wore them again.
I've had like a couple of pairs of tighter fit jeans, but they're woven with
Love
lycra or something as well. I don't know. Like so they
Yeah,
stretch
yeah.
a bit.
I
Yep.
like them. They're good.
But yeah, I'm not a huge fan of them. But that's just probably our age, you know. Once upon a time, people were saying, "Oh, you know, everyone's wearing jeans like schlobs." The fashion changes.
This looks really tedious, Mike.
Yeah, that's why you pay someone to do it.
Yeah, why are you doing this?
Well, and as well, they might not know how to do it right because I know what I'm drawing here, but they might not know what I'm drawing here.
Mm.
You know, if I paid a flatter and then I have to go and do it again, which has usually been my experience with every single flatter I've ever hired, is I have to go in after I've paid them and flat the page. Flat it right. You know, it's very annoying.
Yeah, it's a waste of money.
Yeah, super chat.
Timothy Fitzgerald for 2. Average US woman's ass plus G-string equals double vomit H2O parks now scary. Water parks, right. Hey, I see what he's fitting in the in that $2 super chat. Very ingenious there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys have seen the like the memes of beach photos from the 60s.
Yeah.
To, you know, beach photos currently. It's like, oh my god, we've gone terribly wrong here. Something's happened.
Processed
and we need to
foods.
go back. Yeah. Yeah, there was, I think it was Ethan, he was showing off someone who was like considered the fat guy. Back in the 30s or something. He was like, this is the fattest man that was ever appeared in a movie. And he wasn't even that big. And he was like, this guy was like, his whole thing was known as being like the biggest fat guy ever. And Ethan weighed like, I don't know what, 100 pounds more than him or something. And it's like, shit, you know, this is how it's changed.
Fatty Arbuckle.
Yeah, there you go. Fatty Arbuckle. His name is Fatty. It's his whole shtick. And he wasn't that big.
Look this dude up. Oh yeah, he's only like Bancroft levels of fat.
I'm losing weight. I'm at the lightest I've been since probably I'm gonna say at least since Clark was born. Which doesn't really say much, but he's only 4.
You lost the pregnancy weight?
I have. Yeah, I put on quite a bit of pregnancy weight.
Well done.
And yeah, but I still have. So I've lost about 15 kilos, but I still have about 7 to go before I'm quote unquote healthy.
I mean, he's fat. He's not like obese.
Well, back in the day, like, he was
used car salesman fat. You know, you're like, okay.
Ralph Mack asks, "Why are you gay?" Is that to anyone in particular, or?
Well, I thought we all assumed he was talking to you.
I just said, I've got 2 kids. I knocked my wife up.
Do you?
She's a lady. I do. You've seen them.
Yeah, but are they yours? That's the real question.
Oh, God. I can hope so.
Sorry, Mel. I'm clearly joking.
There's like people kill over that role.
I know. Don't say that to redheads. They might not take that very well.
What comment is this? I don't see anyone.
What are you talking about? What comment?
You said Ralph Mack asks, "Why are we gay?"
How can
There
you
you
not
go,
see
Cameron.
him?
Oh, yeah. Oh, there. No, I don't see it. I don't see it in the chat.
He's probably blocked you. He probably doesn't like you.
Yeah.
Could be.
You probably shamed him one too many times on Camel Nights.
He's a member.
Did I tell you, Rob? Did I mention this to you the other night? I mentioned it I mentioned on my stream. I made Mel watch 300 for the first time.
Oh yeah,
the other day.
She
liked it. Yeah, she was surprised that she hadn't seen it yet. But I think, especially if you're a chick, it would be pretty easy to just sort of like think, "Oh, this isn't for me." But she actually likes that kind of stuff.
I don't like.
I was surprised. I forgot Fassbender was in it.
Yeah.
He's a good actor. Like a good 4 years where he was in every single movie out there.
Yeah.
As a sort of a bit role.
Yeah, between, he was doing all those X-Men movies for a minute, and then he had a couple of his own movies.
He had a pretty big role in Inglourious Bastards. I really liked that role.
Yeah, it was from I want to say 2008 to 2013 or so. He was in a bunch of shit. I think at one point they actually thought of him as being the next Bond. I could see that.
Is he British?
Yeah, I think so.
Henry Cavill would be a better Bond.
Maybe. I don't know. I don't think Bond needs to be a big beefcake.
I wouldn't mind seeing a big beefcake Bond though after Reacher.
Have you seen The Man from U.N.C.L.E.? That's a good movie.
Yeah, it's a good one.
I have not.
Henry Cavill plays that very well.
You wouldn't expect a spy to be a big, massive, super handsome dude, though. Like, pragmatically. You're supposed to be able to sort of fit in when necessary.
Because Bond is really based on realism.
No, I know, but it does play into what they can do with the character. Like that was an issue in Reacher. It was a real issue. They wrote Reacher with a sort of certain understanding that him being approached by 5 guys would be an issue. And when you watched it, this was like, I mean, don't do it, guys. You're gonna get fucking killed. And what happened? They got killed. Because he was just this mountain of them. It's like fighting the mountain, essentially, from Game of Thrones. It's like, yeah, don't, probably not a good idea. Although I still did like it a lot.
Is this the movie that Tom Cruise was in?
Yeah. See, that side of it, I don't really remember I remember I liked it. But that side of it really worked in that movie. It had that Jason Bourne effect where it's like, oh, this guy's just like super duper awesome in hand-to-hand combat.
Yeah.
And it really that really showed because it looked like these guys were going to kick his ass and then he kicked their ass. And it was a good dynamic. Cars in Depth for 5. Speaking of swimsuits, would you ever draw a woman like the Fat Sports Illustrated cover?
I need to see what this is.
What?
It is like
Sports Illustrated.
I thought I read somewhere that Jordan Peterson rage quit Twitter because of that.
The Fat Sports Illustrated thing.
No, I think he made a pretty sort of uncharacteristically snarky comment and got a lot of heat for it and just probably gave up. It's like I mean, obviously I agree with him, but I'm not going to go out of my way to tweet about it.
Yeah.
It's like if they want to shoot themselves in the foot and ruin their brand and become a laughing stock, that's their business.
Yeah, I mean, how many copies are they not going to sell? It's going to be the lowest selling Sports Illustrated swimsuit issue ever.
Yeah, it's not like all these fat housewives are going to go out and buy Sports Illustrated just
Yeah.
for some fat chick on the cover. I don't know, I might, but I can't imagine why I would draw a big fat swimsuit woman.
You're not going to do it for the CG swimsuits?
No one in CG
Beautiful
wants to see that.
at any size.
Yeah. Here you go, Phil. You didn't specify.
Yeah.
Are you a bigot? Is Phil Diaz a bigot now?
Vasson says in the Losing Part 3, Ella has been eating a lot of chocolate and is healthy at any size.
That's not what healthy is.
No, that's not going to happen. Here, let me show you something.
Checkpoint says they're trying to make you love the obese. Our Junk 666 says I'd bang the fat chick on the cover. Okay, good to know.
He says I can fix her. Yeah, she was probably, in terms of as far as fat chicks go, she's probably pretty good looking, but it's a Sports Illustrated. I mean, she's not an athlete. So.
I would be scared to see what Camel rates her out of 10.
I mean, the numbers go negative. There's negative 1 through 10 as well. So,
God damn. Alphonse says Bancroft's going for his porn collection.
I don't have. It's not in this. It's a book. It's a guy I used to hang out with a little bit on Threadless, who became really famous. And he would draw characters like Batman and Superman and all these as like fatties. But they were really cute, and yeah, he got really popular off it. I think he's pretty famous now. He's got millions of followers and stuff. I bought his book, but hey, I'll show you this instead. How about that?
Go full screen. Oh yeah,
Alex Solus Oddworks on Instagram. I think he is. He was like the guy in our group who got super duper famous. There are a couple, but I think he really.
What group? What are you talking about?
Mel says it is in your cottage.
Before I was doing a comic, I was hanging out in the Threadless is a lot like Comicsgate in the way that it functioned as a kind of community, but it all happened on forums.
Oh, okay.
And a little bit on Facebook, but mostly on forums. So, yeah, there was just a bunch of us who were, we were the ones who would win a lot of the competitions. And we were just really into it. We spend all our spare time making art and all that sort of stuff. And
making art.
Oh, no, I get it now. I get it.
Then they became... Like they all got Trump derangement syndrome in 2015, and I bugged out. I used to.
Thing.
Yeah, that was like we were getting, and we were really pretty tight. It'd be like in Comicsgate if, just imagine, I don't know, all of Comicsgate bar 4 or 5 people just decided to have one mindset and turn on those 5 people. And it was me and a couple of other guys who were like, guys, he's not the coming of Hitler. And they wouldn't hear it. They just would not hear it. And yeah, we had massive long arguments on these forums. And they would throw me all this evidence that I just like slap away by showing them all this other stuff. And by the end of it, to them, I was a full-on white supremacist, everything. And I just bugged out, and but yeah, they got full-on Trump derangement. We're not talking about politics. We're talking about 2016 derangement.
Junk 666 has Camel deleted the pictures of Bancroft he had on his computer, or are they his lock screen on his phone?
No comments. I deleted them, and then I actually quickly took them out of the trash because I was like, well, actually, I might need them. So
just in case you need one of my.
well, I was like, yeah, I got rid of them and then I thought like, well, actually, I might need them if we do more, like like that video I'm gonna make tomorrow of us humping each other. So I was like, well, I'll keep them.
Yeah.
Nothing
No,
gay. Just
I took them.
Yeah.
May as well use them.
Yeah.
I got a question for both of you. I was going to ask Mike on Thursday with our show, but Camel's here, so I'll ask him as well. Like, how? And I'm, I won't phrase this fantastically, so you're gonna have to work with me here, Mike. How bad is the state of comics in general? Like, in terms of people caring about comics, where exactly are we? I'll give you an example, right? Mike has been building his channel for 2 years, pretty solidly, Mike. Doing videos, doing streams, and you've got 3,000 subs, which is fantastic. A lot of us would kill for 3,000 subs. But
kill,
mate, I'd kill for a lot less. But talking about like this guy I've been watching, he started an Elden Ring video game channel a month ago and has 15,000 subs already. Like, how?
And then I told you about a guy who started a channel who's gotten 8 million in 6 months or something.
I mean, like, how fucked are we, right? Like, how many people are still interested in comics?
Well, if you're talking about American superhero, Western, Marvel, and DC comics, not that many and diminishing. And then the indie scene that we sort of have latched onto a little bit in CG, even fewer. But then what we're trying to do here is we got to actually build an entire culture from scratch, I think.
Yeah.
Because the manga and the French are doing just fine. So it's not like people don't want or can't read them. It's that you've got to actually build that culture up now because the mainstream just threw away all the gains that they had. They'd never adjusted to the digital age. So it's just, I mean, they're just kind of floundering and whatever it'll end up being, I don't know what it'll be, but it will be a shadow of its former glory and insignificant compared to manga. But yeah, if you want to do a comic book channel and stick with that, you got to set your goals to be realistic.
Yeah.
That's it. And then try and build from there. There's nothing else we can do. David Feed says, "War Campaign gets tons of views with their trucker coverage." Yeah, but that's not comic related. Then
that's
any one of us could
ghost actually when it comes to CG stuff.
Yeah, any one of us could, I don't know, start something that's really popular if we had some sort of skill or talent or opportunity and do that. Would that help us sell comics? I don't think so. Like, we've got to actually somehow build a culture of buying and reading comic books again, almost from the ground up.
Yeah. Like, how long do you reckon Marvel and DC, like, their comics will be around for? Like, they'll keep going, like, making and creating new comics for?
It's difficult to say because Ethan pointed out today, just say you want to have Jim Lee on a comic. You can't put him on a comic that doesn't have it's not a big character because he costs too much money. So the investment is not worth it. You've got to make the money back. But that's sort of an explanation of just what's happening. The the good people are not working in comics anymore, or at least they're not working solely in comics or not as much in comics. They've gone off to make real money that they can actually live off, because they can't make money anymore off the number of sales. So it's like a self-fulfilling downward spiral, because the pros can't make enough money even off the biggest characters to live off, so they go off and do video games or concept art or something, so that all you're left with is the dregs. And then can you keep that situation how long can you keep that going? I don't think it's very long. I don't know what it's going to look like. I don't know what it's going to be like, but I mean, you can already see the good mainstream comics are so few and far between now. Occasionally there are some, and they're impressive, but I feel like they're almost passion projects by superstar creators who still have some passion and vision. Guys like I can never Sean Gordon Murphy, or artists like Jorge Jimenez. I'm sure there's a bunch. Brett Booth, Capullo, McFarlane. Like McFarlane doesn't need to make comics. Not for the money. He's doing it if he, because he wants a legacy with Spawn.
Mason makes a comment here which makes me happy, because it was something I was actually really worried about. He said CG just isn't a bunch of old guys though. I found CG at 19 and I'm 22 now. That's one thing that you notice with manga, like all the kids are reading it. Who's picking up comics though, like at the same age? Like Mason, which is great. Phil Diaz is young. Who else, man? Like it doesn't feel like young people are picking up comics anymore.
It's pretty abysmal. I mean, what can you say? I don't know if they've been picking them up for a long time though. And there's no way that CG can really help with that either. We don't have that sort of muscle, because I mean, the only way it would happen is if one title became super famous and became the next what is it, Dogman or something like that. That's the only way it could happen. It wouldn't be everyone getting that. It would be one title just becomes super popular and gets into Scholastic and gets adapted into a cartoon and a video game. Yeah. I don't see how we can help with that. That's sort of what companies like Marvel and DC should be focusing on, but we know they're not going to.
D says, I think there could be a change with DC due to the new owners. I don't know.
It might be too little too late.
Yeah.
They've driven everyone away.
I mean, even if you had new owners and they were awesome, they were, all about bringing the quality back and the stories back, are they still going to hang on to the same old IPs, right? Are they still going to be pushing Batman and Superman for the next 100 years? Like, people are getting sick of those stories. That's one of the reasons why manga is destroying everything, is because there's new creators and new stories, and they don't hold on to IPs forever. I don't know. Like, if you put Ethan in charge of DC, I don't know if he could fix it. I don't know if he could.
I think the only real saving grace is going to be if a platform such as like a Netflix or something, or maybe something that isn't out yet, finds great success by obtaining IPs from virtually unknown places, like maybe like a place even like Comicsgate. And then if it does incredibly well, then people are going to say like, oh, there's like this whole well of ideas over in this one area. And let's start, mining that and seeing if there's anything there that we can use to, for our own sake to, make TV shows and cartoons out of. Because I think eventually you will get to a point where, like, no one is going to want to see another reiteration of He-Man or the Batman animated series or the X-Men anime, like all that stuff. At some point, people are just going to completely lose interest in. So I think as far as like those IPs are concerned, that's the end of that. If you really want to have some type of success outside of that, then it needs to be with IPs because no one wants to take the risk.
Yeah.
Because you have a lot of people that are in these positions of, and they're like, well, let's just go with best known practices, but they're not taking any risks to do that. And so you might see a shift. Like, it'll have to be a major cultural change. It'll have to be kind of like what the 80s became after the 70s. It'll just be like, oh, wow, look at all of these new IPs. That's the only way I see it happening.
Timothy Fitzgerald, it's been inexcusable for comics to have less success in this age where comic films are the biggest in the world for 2 decades. I agree, man. I agree. John says, John says, what is DC without the old IPs? Yeah, you're exactly right. If they don't have Spider-Man or Superman, who cares anymore? But if they keep holding on to them, no one's going to care about anything else they do in the future. Eric, if you want to come on a draw for like half an hour, dude, I'll send you the link. Let me know. Just take over Mike's show. Not ask him. James Hayes says, current writers at the big two really don't know how to write a traditional comic book. They're trying to write sitcoms like She-Hulk for SJW soccer mums. Mason W. Agreed, but CD wasn't around when I was 8, but my 9-year-old brother knows about Cyberfrog because I've given him material. It takes time, but I believe the audience will grow.
Yeah, my son, to him, Cyberfrog is just like Spider-Man. There's Batman, there's Spider-Man, and there's Cyberfrog. He knows no difference. He has no context of anything else other than they're just characters that he's got a little toy of, and he's in the comics, and that's it. So it can absolutely happen, but it can work. The French do it. Everyone in France reads comics.
Yeah.
Same in Japan, same in Korea. So it is possible to do. It's just that the companies that should have been focusing on that started focusing on other stuff, weird stuff. Not like, how do you get kids to watch cartoons these days? You make them interesting. You make them so that the parents like them as well. Like you see that with Bluey and a whole bunch of other different cartoons. It's the same. You can do the same thing with comic books. As long as the parents are okay with it, they'll let their kids read them. But parents these days are not okay with what's in these comics. So they're not going to buy them for their kids. They're not going to try and introduce your kid. What kind of parent would be say, hey, son, let's go down and buy the new issue of Superman. I hear he's like banging his boyfriend in it or something.
Yeah. Ronan Blade says the Marvel movies and TV shows that are coming out now are garbage. It's hard to disagree. Are you going to get to any actual coloring of Ella today, Mike? I mean, I know this background is just, it's riveting stuff for everyone, but
we've still got 80 people in here.
Modern kids cartoons will fit in 2 11-minute episodes in a 30-minute time slot. Oh, that's cool. Eric met with PTP in person. That's awesome.
Oh yeah, I forgot Eric was down at MegaCon.
Did you make much money, Eric, at MegaCon? Eric says, we have nowhere else to go. No one else is live.
Exactly. I've captured them here.
Mm.
Now they can
Should
watch
I do a
flashing.
stream? Should I do a compete stream?
You can try.
Ooh.
We can see who the traitors are in the chat.
Bancroft is doing the coloring right now. But like even the really big comics channels, like the biggest one I can think of is like Comics Historian. There's probably other ones, and he's got like 2 million subs, which is, you know, it's decent, but in the scheme of things, it's like nothing.
Yeah, I mean it's niche.
Yeah, it's so niche.
But it always kind of was. Like even when
was it in the 90s though?
Yeah, even in the 90s, when I was reading them, I was one of the only kids in my school who would read them.
Yeah, me and my best friend, that was it.
Yeah. And like my best friends read them, but they went to other schools. So I was like, there were a couple, but we weren't even friendly. Like we didn't, you know, hang out over our love of comics or anything. And I remember I told a chick about that I collected comics, and she found that just to be so lame and hilarious. You know, it really was not anything cool. And then it went bankrupt, okay, and then, you know, the whole bubble burst, and then it sort of stayed in that. It was back to being a kind of a weird stasis all the way up until the Big Bang Theory, when it became cool to be a nerd. But I don't think that meant more people were reading comics. I think it was always just niche.
Well, yeah, well, the Big Bang Theory, you know, this goes off what I was talking about the other day. It's like that was the beginning of the fake geekdom. It was like, oh, I'm not really into it. I'm into it as like almost like a subculture.
Ironically.
Yeah, I'm into it. But it's like I'm gonna read all this shit ironically. You know, like I'm gonna wear this 80s Ninja Turtle shirt. It's like, but I don't fucking know anything about what's going on here.
Agent Cub asks, what program are you using to color Mike? Mike is coloring too, by the way. That's him.
Photoshop.
Antoine says, we old guys say kids aren't reading comics. The kids are online playing games. Go sell them comics. Then we say, well, I don't like digital comics. LOL. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, though. They are playing games online, but they're also reading manga. So, I mean,
I was playing games. I mean, I wasn't playing them online, but I was playing games and reading comics. Surely they can do both.
Eric says 90s comics were huge in Southern California. Tons of kids in my school started reading around Death of Superman. Big Bang Theory ruined everything. I hate that show. It's just not funny.
It's pretty unanimously hated, though, isn't it?
My friend likes it, but then he likes the final season of Game of Thrones. So, you know.
Whoa.
Yeah, dude.
That's grounds to end a friendship right there.
It's infuriating. Yeah. Anton says, John, that's right. We're stuck in our ways and we keep trying to feed the kids butterscotch candy.
Speak for yourself, Antoine. I'm not giving kids any butterscotch candy. Keep that shit for myself. It's wasted on kids.
Bronze Age Kid says, all three of my boys read manga and play video games. Only one of the three also read Marvel and DC stuff. Yeah, my sister owns a bookstore in Queensland, and she sells heaps of manga, and she doesn't sell any comics. So, you know, that's the state.
She doesn't sell them because she doesn't want to, or they don't sell?
They don't sell, and, you know, manga sells so well, so it's no point having it, really.
I see.
Mel says, show the full image for Eric, Michael.
I'm gonna try a J. Scott Campbell-esque coloring style on this. So a lot of color holds and maybe a bit more definition than I normally would. But we'll see how that goes. It might be a complete failure.
I cannot remember. I'm having a complete mental blank where my sister lives in Queensland. So if I remember, I'll tell you. James Hayes says Seinfeld wasn't funny either, but it ran for 9 seasons as a comedy.
Blasphemy.
Yeah, I like Seinfeld.
You're fired.
Trevor Wright says Big Bang Theory is the pop vinyl of TV shows. That's very good. Ronan says manga is easy to keep reading because of the numbering system. Marvel and DC is a mess.
Mm-hmm. Yep. But even, I say this actually quite often, when I came into it in 1992, I think Spider-Man was in the high 200s. Amazing Spider-Man was in the high 200s. And the story went all the way back to issue number 1. You know? So even though it like ebbed and weaved and the timing of it and the how long the years went, whatever, was fuzzy. He started off as a kid in school, and he learned his lessons, and he went out with some girls. He ended up meeting Mary Jane. They got married, and that's where he was. So it was like I felt like it was a continuous story. But now it's all messed up with all these characters. It's like, let's just restart it all the time. I never liked when they introduced multiverse stuff. I hated the idea
that shit.
That there were multiple versions of the same character. I couldn't stand it.
I hate it when the Flash just runs back in time and deletes everything that's happened. It's like there's no consequences anymore. It's bullshit.
Yeah. I think the multiverse stuff can work. The problem is they use it way too often. Like, I remember I bought a Superman comic in the 90s where he meets like all of the Batman. But it was a very small arc. In fact, it was just one issue, and they never did it again. And I was like, okay, so that was cool then. But yeah, when it becomes like, like an escape plan, it's like, all right, well, you did this last year. You did this the year before. It's, at some point, it just kind of gets kind of old.
Yeah. Well, I guess it depends on the consequences of it. Like, what are you going to do with it? If you're going to fuck with things and enter in
that's
this...
a good point. Yeah, because in the Superman comic, all that happens is really Superman learns that there's another universe. That's it. There's no it doesn't alter time or anything like that and alter his story and legacy for the next 20 issues or 20
So even though I didn't hate Loki, the TV show,
what?
I really did not like the idea that he goes into this place and that there's this place that exists in the universe where the Infinity Stones are useless. And, there's hundreds of them. And they're just like, they use them as paperweights. I don't like that shit.
Stupid.
Because now you're just erasing the biggest movie franchise of all time, the stakes. It's like, oh no, now there's someone even more powerful who just hasn't intervened up until this point for some reason. Yeah.
This is the book I was talking about.
Hang on. Mm-hmm.
And it was in this series called 0 Hour. 0 Hour was very short. It was really just, kind of a way to reset things. So because there was a lot of contradictory elements in DC at the time. So they're like, all right, let's do like this quick. It was only 4 issues. And it was just a way to kind of like make sense of what was happening. But it wasn't like this major event where like everyone got brought back to life or anything like that. It was just trying to like do some house cleaning.
This is going to sound really pessimistic, which is going to be a huge shock for you guys. But like, is mainstream comics, is it savable, or is it just gonna fizzle out and die eventually?
Well, the thing is that the movies still make millions upon millions of dollars, so the characters are still beloved. Like as soon as the movies start to die, I think then that you're officially just kind of like running up the clock. So it's like, is it still salvageable? I don't see why not, because it wasn't like the industry was in dire straits before all of the SJW nonsense.
Yeah, it was. I think they were pretty insignificant before Iron Man came out, I don't think they were massively popular even then. It was still pretty niche. I think there's a lot of things that could potentially go away because of the, SJW plague. Time will tell. I mean, the trajectory has been pretty not very good for them, not very positive up until now. But I don't know, strange things can happen. Look what Elon Musk, just considering buying Twitter, can do for Twitter in a week.
Yeah.
And they just went and fired 200 woke employees at Netflix, trying to turn that around. So who knows?
Yeah, there's definitely an effort to try to correct the ship. And I think, like even outside of, Trump derangement syndrome, all of my friends still recognize that it's a major issue, like in woke media. Like they see it and they hate it, and they're all liberals. And so they're like, well, they don't want to like admit that anything that Elon would do is going to change things. Like they're still kind of pissed about that, but they still see shows and movies and they're like, this is ridiculous. I don't want to see this anymore. They can't make the correlation that the two are linked, but they still recognize that it's a problem.
Bronze Age says, mainstream comics were objectively better before the Iron Man movie, though.
Oh yeah, yeah, but it still wasn't, like this enormous industry that's tanked. It was already in decline, going on a long, slow decline that tracks all the way back to the decision of taking comics off the newsstand.
Ronan says the everything female in Marvel kill the movies. Dude Man says Blade and Blade 2 was better than the entire MCU.
That's a bold statement.
Those movies are rated R, right?
I don't know.
I think so.
David Feeds, heading out. Catch you later, mate.
Bye-bye.
But like, if Marvel and DC were going to try and, let's just go with DC. If DC were going to try and resurrect the comic book industry, they would need to obviously get new writers, new ideas, all that kind of stuff. But they need to bring in some new IPs that actually sell. I don't know if they'd even try, honestly. James says, well, are the movies trying to make money or are they just trying to push a political message? Because they clearly fail at doing both.
I think they make money, don't they?
The movies? Yeah, they make millions. I mean, depends which. Like, did Black Widow make money? Did the 10 Rings of Ching Shang, whatever the fuck that movie did, make money? No, those didn't make money. But like for the most part, yes, they make money.
You didn't like the 10 Rings of Ching Shang?
Whatever the fuck it was. I didn't watch it, but I know that it was on like Eternals. I know it was a massive disappointment for Marvel. But I know Spider-Man killed. I know that new Batman movie made what, $400 million or something crazy.
Antoine's saying, Rob, people just don't read the way they used to. Are you referring to digitally, Antoine? Like, is that what you mean? Did Eternals make money? I would be shocked if Eternals made money. It was, you know.
No, I don't think so.
Xing Shang.
Ching Shang Chong Kang. That was almost as good as your Liu Kang joke earlier. That was
that was good. That was something.
Knees.
This is looking good, Bancroft. I'm liking this.
Thank you. This is the benefit of keeping your inks separated. You can quickly put in some holds.
Rob, why is it that you never show my page?
Oh, here you go.
Well, I don't want it now. I was just wondering.
Laziness.
Okay.
Eric says people said nobody reads novels until Harry Potter. John says Black Widow was a decade too late. I agree with you, dude. They should have made a movie after Iron Man 2-ish, like in that time frame somewhere.
Yeah,
they should have done Black Widow.
Also, they should have made her movie take place between the 5 years after the blip, because that's the only time that they never did anything, and that was when she reformed the Avengers, and so that actually would have been a story that people would have been interested in. No one gives a shit about her fucking dad and her sister and some contrived backstory that we already got in Avengers 2. It was like, this is worthless. It was a worthless movie.
That was a shocking movie.
What was?
Travis T says, chat, do we ever find out which comic skater showed up at Reenie's house uninvited?
It was Rob.
Yeah, that would have been impressive. Somehow traveled over the seas.
Hey, you know.
Yeah, they blew the Black Widow window. Yeah, right after Winter Soldier.
Yeah, whenever. Just again, it was too late.
Antoine, Eric's fair point, but who's doing Harry Potter class work in comics? Is Harry Potter even all that good, or was it just one of the things that that hit the lightning in the bottle?
Harry Potter was phenomenal. I've read a lot of books. Harry Potter was a diamond in the rough. She deserves all the success she's got.
I don't particularly like Harry Potter, or at least the movies. I don't really know anything about the books. Never read them. But I always thought that the movies felt very contrived, because I was just like, this is just everything from King Arthur. You're just ripping it all off.
I actually think Black Widow was probably the most disappointing out of all the Marvel films, because it could have and should have been really good.
I didn't see it. Is it bad?
Black Widow?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's terrible.
It's terrible.
Oh, really?
It's really bad.
What's so bad about it?
Oh, the storyline, the characters. Like you've got the guy from Stranger Things who plays the sheriff or the police guy there.
Oh,
as the dad, and you just don't give a shit at all.
Isn't he like Crimson Dynamo or something? Who is he in it?
Yeah, he's like some Russian superhero. It's just a
Crimson
terrible
Star
movie. So bad.
Well, Crimson Dynamo is a robot or a guy. I think he's a guy in a suit, but he's an Iron Man villain. but I wasn't sure if it was the same character.
What's up, Clayton? Clayton's in the house.
Yeah, it's on Disney Plus. I haven't watched it. And so is the Ten Rings and Red Guardian. Yeah. Okay. And so is Eternals. I haven't seen any of them.
Well, I went out and watched, not Eternals, Shang-Chi, based on Mike's glowing recommendation of how good that movie is. And it is fucking shit.
Hey, results may vary.
Lethal Davis says Russian Captain America, the Red Guardian. Yeah. Smiling Bandito says Harry Potter is not well written. Objectively, there are many flaws.
Blasphemy.
My wife says that too. She loves the Harry Potter books, but she says that they're not very well written as well.
What do you got? What do you guys want? What do you want? What can make you satisfied?
Nothing.
What is it? Nothing. Nothing.
I will poo whatever.
Here's a story. Hang on. Here's a book that sets up a world, a completed universe that you get 7 episodic books that tie together a full character arc. Every character is unique and interesting. It's fun. I don't know what people want. I don't know what people want.
My sister is an editor, and she edits books and she owns a bookstore. And she said there are many better versions of Harry Potter, but Harry Potter was the one that caught on.
Better by what metric, though?
Better written, better story, more interesting, all of the above. But
clearly,
for
not,
whatever reason,
not famous.
For whatever reason, Harry Potter was the one that caught on.
Harry Potter was not manufactured. Harry Potter was like, she wrote that in an apartment or a cafe or whatever, and she shopped it around and no one would buy it. They put out 500 copies into libraries, and then it just hit the kids so well that it ballooned into this worldwide phenomena. I don't know what more people want.
That's a good story, though. That's always the story of success. Usually, it's like no one liked it, no one wanted it, no one wanted to take a risk on it, and they pretty much had to give it away. And then eventually, it found its audience.
Did give it away, yeah. There was a huge marketing campaign after it had become the biggest thing in the world.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
I remember when that came out, I was actually working at a bookstore, and we had people come in, like people were reading books who had never read books ever. And it was a phenomenon. And my brother
was like me with Game of Thrones.
Yeah. And maybe the reason that it was able to, do so well with so many different demographics was because it was really easy to read. Maybe, because if it's too, full of itself or whatever, regardless of how well it's written, it's still, if it's easy to read, that like fucking 50 Shades of Grey is just hot trash. I read 5 sentences of that once at a friend's house. Like his wife had it on the table, and I was like, what is this? And it was truly like some 6th grader wrote it. But maybe people are just so stupid that they're like,
well, that actually was 50 Shades of Grey is fan fiction of Twilight. Literally. It was like they just took the vampires and made him a corporate dude.
Yeah.
But it was like erotica fiction, obviously. Whereas Twilight was just some bored housewife who was in love with Wuthering Heights. Twilight actually inadvertently inspired me to start writing, because my sister said, "You got to read this. It's the best book ever." So I read it. I'm like,
Yeah,
this is not the
terrible.
best book ever. It's not. Look, it's I get why it has the appeal. Like women love that stuff. You know, if you're into romance and vampires, you know, it's right up your alley. But I was like, man, this woman made like $80 million off that one book alone. I can make $80 million. Why can't I make $80 million? Yeah,
you can. You just gotta believe in yourself. That's what I always tell you, Mike. You're like, I don't believe in myself. I'm like, you got it, man.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank
you for your belief.
I mean, your wife and Sheev McQueen are staying out of this because they're massive Harry Potter fans. Guys, get involved. Tell me I'm wrong. Yell at me.
I'm a huge Harry Potter fan. I read it once and then I read it again in German to learn German. And
Wunderbar.
then because I read it in German and I wanted to read it again, I read it again in English. So I read it 3 times the whole way through. She really planned that story out very well. And here's the thing. Here's the thing about Harry Potter that everyone can go suck a dick on. She stuck the landing, both in the books and the movies. Now, how many people managed to do that?
Fuck, no one.
Exactly.
Everyone fucks it up.
Exactly. And she stuck the landing hard. Everyone was pretty satisfied. And yeah, there we go. That's all I have to say about that.
I think sometimes these books, they don't stick the landing because they try to be too clever at the end. I think she was just like, look, he's the chosen one. He's still the chosen one. Great.
But yeah, you're stuck with the story that you started. You know, you can't change it halfway through, whether she wants to or not. And she's been very clear about that. You know, certain things that she wished she could have done and changed, but it was already written, it was already done. So you got to work with what you've got. So that's how you end up with issues. But man, there was shit that she was putting into that first book that didn't get you didn't get the payoff until 4 or 5 books down the line, and all the way up to the end, from the first book to the end book, which was the first book was a full-on kids book. It is a proper, like, you're 10 years old. You want to read that. The last book is hard. I mean, it's not a best book, but it's full on. I mean, there's death, destruction, anguish, suffering, all that sort of stuff. And so to go from that to that, just like how you do from being a kid in year 7 to a kid going into adulthood, it gets more serious. Yeah, I think it's a triumph, and that's why she's worth billions of dollars, maybe.
Sheev McQueen says she evolved the series from a somewhat silly boarding house mystery series into a poignant saga about life, death, and meaning in the space of 7 books.
Yeah.
Bronze Age Kid says, I'll stick to Lord of the Rings.
Lord of the Rings is also fantastic. Very different kind of book, though.
You were saying something about you can't rewrite the ending, but based on where it started from. George R.R. Martin has to change the ending of Game of Thrones now, in my opinion.
He has to just do it properly. No, I would be satisfied. I mean, I'm not going to read it, but if I were to read it, I'd be satisfied with him doing it properly.
If that was his ending, that was fucking shit.
Yes, because they didn't set it up. I thought about this. Imagine George Lucas dies in 1979. And he's like, we have to finish you have to finish the 3 movies. What happens? Well, he's left us a few notes here. It says Darth Vader is Luke's father, and at the end, Luke gets really angry and he's about to kill Darth Vader, but then he doesn't. And then, like, few bullet points is not going to get you the story that was intended. It's just not. And that's what it felt like George gave to the showrunners of Game of Thrones. They didn't give him enough, and they just rushed it, and it sucked. A skilled, a person who can craft the story well could make what happened in Game of Thrones good, but it would take more time, and it would take subtlety. Subtlety was the entire currency of Game of Thrones for the first 5 seasons.
But is it not?
And then they just threw that out the window.
Is it not ruined? Is it not ruined?
No, of course it's not ruined. The books,
even if he nailed the ending the way it was supposed to be, is it still not ruined from what they've done from the show?
No, because every good story like that has only really one ending it could possibly have. And you're not looking for a surprise ending, you're looking for a satisfying ending.
Yeah, I agree.
So the way he set up Daenerys, she had to eventually succumb to evil, right? It's the way it had to go. They didn't have to just destroy the characters of Tyrion and Bald Man and ruin all this other shit and just leave a whole bunch of other storylines hanging. But no, it does. You don't have to be surprised by the ending. You just need to be satisfied. So no, I think he can still do it. If he does it right, it could still be a massive triumph. But I don't see that happening.
If it was me, I would rewrite it. I would change the ending. He has so many different ways he could make that series end, and I just don't think you can make it this exact same as what the show was.
A story like that, you are cramming the first storylines with foreshadowing. Just cramming it. What are you going to do? Just ignore all that? I mean, that's
Mike
the build,
says,
that's the setup.
You're both right. Everything that happened could have worked in capable hands, but now it's ruined.
Well, the show was ruined, but the books aren't the show.
I'm highlighting the chats, guys. I don't know I can't read them all.
How many books does he have planned left? It's not 1, right? Isn't it like 3?
Yeah, it's not.
Yeah, that's never happening. You'll never get his ending. It'll never. He might get out 1, but he'll die in 5 years anyway.
He's not a skinny guy.
No.
Like, it's very surprising that COVID didn't take him.
Yeah. I mean, anyone who's like holding out hope that they're going to finish Game of Thrones by R.R. Martin is fucking. I got a bridge to sell you.
Yeah.
Is it just 2 books he has planned left? Yeah, he's not going to finish it, is he? Like, there's no chance.
Unless the reason why he's taking so long is because he's writing both of them at the same time.
No.
That's the only hope. If he's not doing that, Camel's right. There's no hope. Forget about it.
Yeah. Get out of here. Get out of here.
It's just crazy, though. Like, you've got the biggest show and book pretty much in the world at the time, and you're just not going to finish it. Like, that's insanity.
But he might
imagine
just feel like
if the Lucent was
done.
a Lucent, Mike.
He refuses. I've been told. I think Bandito told me this. He refuses to hire help, ghostwriters and people to help him. Has to do all himself. I mean, I get that at the start, maybe if you're really idealistic, but if you're like 7 years late and you're 60 years old and you're a big fat guy,
yeah,
I'm getting as much help as I can. I get the high expectations too, though. Like, from what I was thinking for the Lucent to be when I launched, I had to get a lot more serious on it when I saw that, hundreds of people were backing it and people were talking about it and expecting things. I actually would go on to shows and people would say, you better can deliver on this book, Bancroft, because I have massive expectations. I was like, holy shit. So it would be that times 1,000,000 for him. But even so, you've just got to get it done. We're over time.
Oh, yeah,
I think I made a good dent in that. A good start.
Super impressive for you, Mike. Well done.
There's a lot of flatting.
He has
actually.
He has a duty to the fans, though. Like, he's basically just giving everyone just a big middle finger. Like, you've got a duty to the fans, Mike. Like, you've got to finish the losing. Like, you've got to do it.
Absolutely.
If people are liking it, you've
I
got to
feel
get
that
it finished.
keenly. Absolutely.
He's just like, fuck you guys. Ain't getting shit.
No, I agree. All right, Rob, Camel, always a pleasure.
Okay.
It's time to go have dinner, I think.
Guess I'll just sit here by myself.
What are you having, Mike?
I got no idea. Eric says, nice. It looks good, even just slattered. Thank you. You can kind of see I had already sort of previously jumped ahead and marked out sort of some, I call these Terminator lines. Just sort of roughing out where the highlights are going to land on the face here. So yeah, it's going to be fun putting in the highlights and everything, figuring out what I'm going to do here. Hopefully finished in a few days. Hopefully, fingers crossed. I got to get started on mail-ins now.
Antoine says it as well. He says, like and subscribe. Cheers all.
Please do. Subscribe to Rob as well. How many subs are you on, Rob?
I don't know. It's still going up.
850. Subscribe to Camel. He's got 2 of the best shows in CG. And other than that, thank you everyone for watching. Love yous all. And I will see you in a couple of days. I might put up a video tomorrow, actually. Get off my butt. Do something good. All right, guys. Have a good one. Thanks for hanging around. And I will see you later. Bye.
Night.
This country, you got to make the money first. Then when you get the money, you get the power. Then when you get the power, then you get the woman. That's why you got to make your own moves.